Hello, welcome back to the Jewish-Anglican. Different filming setup. There's been some issues with my phone and such, so we're filming on my computer today. And we're doing a Christian Denomination tier list. Because don't we all just love tier lists? Admit it. Anyway, so a few things first. It's not supposed to be bashing on any Christian denomination, nor is it supposed to be mean. This is just a bit of fun. S tier does not mean it is 100% the denomination, just 95% the preferable one. Because since we're all human, we all make mistakes. So with S tier, you've seen my channel name, and it is Anglican. I've made an entire video about it. Just go watch that. You don't want me to repeat, but here's where we'll differ with A tier. A tier is starting with Lutherans. I love Lutherans. Look, my Midwestern family is Lutheran. I watched Dr. Jordan B. Cooper recently, especially his etiquette video. Great video, by the way. I really liked Otto's Last Night. He's Lutheran. He hasn't talked a whole lot about his religion yet, but it's pretty good. Lutherans are great people. Theologically speaking, I do like the whole just and sinner stuff. I think that's quite clever about how it's literally fecal matter. That's the sin, but we're snowflakes stuck in sin. I really like that. Their Eucharist is not consubstantiation. That's a big misunderstanding. It's more like the Eastern Orthodox. Although I don't really understand how many sacraments they have, because some count penance. Well, what has been the historical? I'd love to know. Comment down below. So they're A tier. Next one is a little more controversial, and that is Coptic Orthodox or Oriental Orthodox. I don't really disagree much with their Christology. I think they have a lot of great points about being the one true church comparatively. I really like them. So yeah, A tier. Also, I love that they use unleavened bread. Just wonderful. Right by them is a little more controversial, of course, especially for more low church Protestants. But I love my Catholic brothers and sisters, and honestly, I like the Catholic Church a lot. Of course, the Pope I disagree with, not necessarily on a governmental level, but more on just more of the spiritual stuff and ex cathedra. In fact, I prefer the Oriental Orthodox papacy. Yeah. Then after that is also with the Catholics. You know, they get a lot of flack, but especially about veneration of saints and icons. But honestly, they're pretty chill about it. At least most of it, except for South America, of course, which even Catholics have admitted that's an issue. I really like, I've only asked intercessory prayer to Mary once or twice, maybe to Saint Michael. I'm not sure, but very rarely. But I think it's fine and acceptable, even in the Anglican denomination. Most allow intercessory prayer to an extent. Now let's get to B tier. Then after that is a little tricky. Methodist and Eastern Orthodox are kind of similar in terms of I don't know where to put them. They both have some pretty good things. Methodist and Eastern Orthodox follow the Episcopal structure of governance, which I like. I like the Episcopal structure of governance. But honestly, I don't know. It's just the Methodists believe you can become perfect as long as you follow Christ, which yeah. Plus, the Orthodox have a much more extreme version of the veneration of saints and icons compared to the Catholics. I don't know if anyone has said that before. I wouldn't be surprised, but that's what I say. And then C tier, the Reformed tradition, specifically Calvinism. I do not like Calvinism. Now, amongst the Anglican Church, that is a bit more controversial since Some Anglicans are more Calvinist, some are more Armenian. I'm more of an Armenian Anglo Catholic. The Calvinists, I understand their point, but I think it goes too far. I appreciate that they keep the liturgy and the what is it and they keep the liturgy, and I like the idea of spiritual Eucharist. Then after that is the Baptists. The Baptists, they're Baptists. Do I have to say more? Again, then we have Congregationalists. Do we have to say more? They're pretty much just Baptist Calvinists. And Pentecostal. And of course, then after that is non-denominational. Since non-denominational, you don't know what you're getting. Although I gotta tell you guys a fun story. So I once went on like a church. I visited a Catholic church a few years ago with my mother, and it wasn't during service. It was open. I like that when churches are open. Now, that isn't super common in Washington, but I love that. But yeah, seeing just open. It was a very small Catholic church, not super fancy, a little rundown really. But it was nice. I love the reference there. Then that same day, I went to my neighbor, who was a pastor, was working extra closed hours in the church, so it was just him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, let me show you around." Big non-denominational guitar playing church. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean. It was just like, I think I'm gonna stick with more of the high church. Thank you. It was painful. And then we got another denomination. This one is a little weird, but it's the Messianic Jews. Now, technically, I am a Messianic Jew, not by denomination, but just by the fact I'm a Jew who believes that Christ is the Messiah. They're pretty much just Baptists with the yarmulkes. Not to say they're all bad. They have very interesting theology. I'd recommend Two Messianic Jews, which is two Messianic Jewish brothers talking about Messianic Judaism. It's very fascinating, and they're also very against Hebrew roots and one law theology, which one law theology is just the belief that Christians and Jews have to practice all the laws, which, have you not read Paul's letters, Gentiles? I'm sorry, but that just annoys me. So, yeah, two Messianic Jews, they've debunked one law theology. One law theology. I don't know how much of you are familiar with that, but that's just Yeah. Honestly, I'd say Messianic Judaism is C tier, just because at least culturally I'm a little more closer to it. But yeah, that's my denomination ranking. Hope you like it. Hope you enjoyed it. And see you in the next one. God bless.